I was on the floor, like on my knees or something, to the front. Theta was beside me, and Tammy was just probably 2 or 3 sitting up there. Mark was beside her, and David was up there. I think David was in that picture. I believe David, yeah, maybe not, but anyway, Kathy was over in the corner too. But we was arguing about where it was.
Yeah.
Okay, we kind of got it figured out though. It was in Mama and Papa's house up at Rift. It was the first Christmas they had it, but there was a Christmas tree beside us.
Okay.
It was the first Christmas they ever had there.
Huh.
You're sitting in a chair, and we're all around. We're all in front of you. Yeah, I'll send the picture to you.
Send the picture
because
to me.
Here's the thing. You remember Papa built that addition on that house to the side, which became the living room. We were at the fireplace.
Oh yeah, the addition.
Okay,
yeah.
so, but the wall, this picture is taken before that's ever done.
Okay.
All right? So
All right.
there's a window there, and you can barely see the corner of the front door, just a slither of the front door.
Yeah.
So that was in that corner. The TV the big console TV was sitting
Right.
there. You can see it. It's a pretty neat picture.
I got video when Morgan was a baby.
Uh-huh.
So that had to be, I don't know how many years ago. She was a little girl, not talking good, long black hair and a little red frilly dress.
Right.
So that had to be, I don't know how old Morgan is. I don't know how old she is. I don't know. Anyway, it had to be 40 years
Well, she's
ago.
more than that.
35, 40 years ago that I've got video.
More
What?
than 40.
What'd you?
38.
38. So it had to be. It had to be
38.
So it had to be a long time ago, man. I got video of it up there. The cool thing too.
She's 40.
She's 40, but she was about 2.
Oh,
She was
okay.
about
so,
2 then. Okay, so you're
about
saying it was 38 years ago. Okay, I got you.
all
Now
right.
we're with you. All right, yeah.
So 38 years
We
ago.
don't count so well. All right.
You know, we talked about not going to school. So
We didn't like it.
I got video of that, and there in the Christmas tree and stuff, and her walking around talking and Papa singing.
Yeah.
And I've got some video somewhere of all that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
But you know what I found about video and pictures and stuff like that? I think people nowadays take too many, and they're not that important. I mean, Chris gets a book every month on the baby if she takes pictures of them all along. It's all good, but I don't know how much people look back on those things. We look back on them 1 or 2 pictures.
Yeah.
But
I think differently.
Okay.
I love pictures, and that's one thing I admire about Kelsey, Morgan, and you. You guys have always. Kelsey's got tremendous pictures,
she ain't got no baby book.
Yeah.
I need to see if AI will make her one.
Yes.
We got them on the other kids. Kelsey didn't get no baby book. And the other night she brought that up. I didn't even have a baby book.
She was mistreated.
Yeah.
Y'all really were mistreated, She was left to raise herself.
Half a baby book.
Morgan had half.
Colson had no.
Colson had
did have
the other
one.
2 kids. We didn't have baby books on the other ones, okay?
Right, yeah.
And-
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You had a baby book?
We had no baby book. I don't know what you mean by that. But anyway.
I had a baby book that had my mom was extravagant. I'm gonna get my footprints in it and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
But Virgie up the road up there used to give me a silver dollar every year when I was little. A silver dollar, and Mom would paste it in the baby book.
Right.
But I had these northern cousins that come in one time and they stole every one of the silver dollars out of the rascals. Stole them right out of the baby book. They got the place in the baby book where it's gone.
Really?
Stole them silver dollars.
How about that?
I don't know. Let's think about cousins growing up.
Yeah, right.
We, it seemed like we always almost killed each other, didn't we? It
seemed
was
like
things that
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
You remember when we was pulling Mark that time on that hood of that car and
It was
almost cut his
Michael.
head?
It was
Michael
Michael. It was
almost cut his head off.
I remember real well.
We were pulling him on a four-wheeler.
Was it a four-wheeler? Yeah, we had
Four-wheelers
was it
back
four-wheeler?
then.
We had a four-wheeler.
Four-wheeler, and we were pulling. We had a chain or a rope or something hooked to a hood of a car, and it was a grassy field.
The car hood was
Upside
upside
down.
down. It still had the arms
Arms
on
on
it,
it.
whatever
Yeah,
they call it.
yeah,
The post,
the
called
post.
post, yes, on the door.
And
on
we
the
were
hood.
dragging it through the grass
Just dragging it
at a
around.
high rate of speed, and just trying. And he fell off the front, and it cut him around the neck.
Yeah, just it hit his skin just enough.
Right.
Just enough. It hit him just enough.
It's bad.
And I remember, I remember, John, me and you just looked at each other, both our eyes.
He's gonna die.
We just looked at each other. I said, gee, we almost killed him. I said he would be dead. We almost cut his head off.
But it was important. You always done things to the very limit, to where you would almost get killed. You know what I mean? If it was sliding down a hill on a piece of cardboard, or if it was coming down a big mountain in the snow on a tabletop.
You remember the smokehouse that was behind my mom and papa's house when they first moved up? There was a smokehouse.
No,
there was a root cellar behind the house, and then above it, over top it was the smokehouse. It was an old wooden.
Up Warrior?
No, up Rift. You don't
I don't remember
right
that.
behind the house. So anyway,
I remember like a place where you kept canned stuff.
yeah, little root cellar.
Okay, yeah,
But
I
over
remember
top
root
of
cellar.
it was the
Okay.
smokehouse.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so there was no porch on it. There was like some rocks or some blocks stood up, and you opened the door and then walked up the blocks. Well, I would be inside it because we would play in it,
Right.
and I'd watch to see who was getting on the steps to come to the block, and I'd push the door open because it hit them, knock them back down the hill. It was really a lot of fun to do Mark Akers that way. Mom all scolded me. She caught me one time. She pointed her finger at me. She pointed her finger at me, and she said, "You did that on purpose." And I didn't. It was an accident. I didn't know he was out there. But yeah, you had to be good to your cousins.
Yeah,
that way.
you got to do stuff to your cousins. See, nowadays, like where they live apart, they don't get to do stuff.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they don't get to
Right.
abuse them,
Yeah.
which builds character.
But the sad thing is they'll never miss it. They don't know
No,
that they're.
don't
That's
know
the
it.
sad. I mean, we had a
together.
tremendous growing up having family. People call it clique today,
Right.
but it's not. I mean, that's the way families
We had a
were
tribe.
then. Yeah, we had to. We were, but that's.
Yeah.
It was our cousins and uncles. Our cousins are what molded us, really. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But just having they were our friends.
Yeah.
Morgan said one time when JP was real little and him and Caleb, they were always just tight. And I said something about, man, that they really good family. She said, yeah, cousins are best friends for life.
Yeah.
And I said, that's exactly right, Morgan.
I think
love
you
it.
think about that now too. We got cousins that we can talk to that we don't get, like even with Matthew, we don't get to sit down with him, but he calls us up and it's like there's nothing changed,
Right.
Or other
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes, right.
Or I've got an older cousin, Lynn, who retired the other day. Because she's a lot older than me.
I retired too.
Yeah. All these people
I'm
have
semi-retired.
retired.
That's what I told somebody.
Somebody-
I'm semi-retired. I said, because if you call me wanting something, I may be able to make it. I don't know.
Right.
I'm semi-retired.
Yeah. I had a problem when people ask me what I do for a living.
It's none of your business. Can't I tell you?
It is-
You won't like what the outcome.
I went to the class reunion the other day, and we was all talking, and somebody said, "John, what do you do?" I said, "Ooh, don't know. I don't really." I said, "I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what I do." But I'm being honest.
I'll get back to you.
I don't know.
I'll get
I
back
don't
to you.
know.
I'll get back to you.
I do get a check on the 16th.
Right.
But I'm not sure. I'll tell you what I can do about anything. That's what I said. I can do anything. What am I doing? Don't really know. I don't know. I think about that a lot. All right, let's talk about this. Talk about passions in our life. Things that make you passionate, because I think that gets missing sometimes. I went through stages in my life that I was not passionate about anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I found myself from like thing to thing that I was doing, and then I found myself not as passionate. And I think we should be passionate about some things, but we do have transitions between passions. There's transition time.
Yes, right.
And we need to know that.
Right,
And
Well, if you talk about just doing things, the one time I had a passion for horses.
Right.
And I still like and enjoy horses, but
Right.
I don't have the passion for it. I guess now it's more of today it's more a passion for what I can create or accomplish. How about that? If that makes sense. what
It's
I
good, but it's not really real. Okay?
Not really
It's
real.
not really a passion.
Okay.
Okay? I mean, what I see as a passion, and we'll figure out what the real definition of a passion is, but a passion is something that you're excited in such a point that to create, I don't know. I mean, like,
Okay.
say you love growing flowers.
Okay.
And you seem pretty passionate about that.
I
When I
enjoy
talked to
that.
you back in the summer,
Yeah.
you had the sunflowers going, you had the stuff going, and I did say something about you being a little bit feminine about it, but I mean, it's okay.
Got
'cause-
cut on me some. But anyway.
So I mean,
Yeah.
but you were passionate about that.
Right.
I'd call you and you say, "Man, yeah, I'm doing
Didn't
this."
hurt my feelings, though, I promise you. I don't. I grow some pretty flowers.
So I mean, you
Yeah.
were passionate about the flowers and
Right.
passionate about that. So you have things that you get passionate about. So I mean,
Right.
what is there in your mind now? There can be nothing, or there can be something.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I like doing these interviews.
Yeah.
I'm pretty passionate about that.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm excited about getting information that that other people have. Okay, thank you, Jan. I'm excited about getting the information that other people have out there.
Right.
I'm excited about sharing life.
Right.
I think these are things that will go to the grave that don't need to,
Yeah.
that needed to go to the ears of a generation. And they need to know that we were passionate about friendship, passionate about cousins,
Yeah.
passionate about stuff. Okay,
Right.
I go through a lot of stages. In my life, life is full of seasons, chapters. I heard a guy put it one time.
Both chapters.
He said life has chapters,
Okay.
and I think that's what you and I we have chapters in our life.
Yeah.
But I try to look and see where I'm at.
Right.
Because I went through a couple of years and I wasn't really passionate about anything. When I made some big changes in work and I made some changes in things, and,
Right.
and I told Janice, I said, it seems like we're not passionate about anything. That's one reason I continue to do some stuff with the horses and some of this other stuff is
Right.
I like being involved in it. Am I as passionate as probably I should be? No.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But there's times I get passionate about stuff, and
Right.
right now I enjoy fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I would enjoy it if it's warmer. I'd enjoy it more. But like you do, I mean, when you start on a job,
Yeah.
you're passionate about that
Right.
job.
Oh yeah. I love it. I do. I really do. I just don't. I don't count the money. How about that? That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because I know there's another one to do. But anyway, I love it. So therefore, that makes it passionate.
Yeah.
I feel I enjoy the creativity I get to do with that,
Right.
with things like that. I enjoy the satisfaction. When it's complete. How about
Yeah.
that? And I tell folks, I said, I'm not perfect, but I try to do it as perfect as I can. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm not perfect and never will be. So therefore that makes it a passionate thing for me.
Well, I think that one thing is you got a gift of working with junk. Okay,
Right.
A lot of the jobs you do, and I was telling Mom the other day when I was working on electrical and doing some things. I said, a real electrician would not do this.
Nope.
They wouldn't even touch it.
Nope.
And I think that the gift is, and I think that comes from our heritage.
Certainly.
Okay, because we come from people that were creative in that aspect.
Right.
They could do things with nothing.
Right.
They could take stuff and make it work.
Yeah.
When other people they could build an asphalt plant.
Right.
Our uncles could,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
They could build a sawmill.
Right.
All right? I mean, there's things that they could do, and I think that part of us is in there. I hope I can continue to pass that on.
Right.
But it's hard to, there's time and generation. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't.
Right.
But I think to be passionate, man.
Yeah. One thing I'm proud of is I saw Pawpaw. Do you remember when he built the coal log?
Yeah.
I mean, he made before they ever started.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
they sell them.
Well-
They sold them for a while, but
Well, here's the deal. I worked with Dad on that
okay,
for days.
okay,
I've got them.
okay, all right,
I've got a shadow box. I'm putting them in.
okay,
I've got the coal log.
okay,
Okay.
all right, great,
And and when we made it out of the hydraulic press,
right,
and we cut the cylinder and put it together and hinged it, and it was a big thing, man. We worked on it. We went to Charleston to get it patented.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
didn't know
I've
that.
got the coal log, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And we went
Okay.
to Charleston to get it patented. We was a little thin on funds. It's about $750 for the lawyer to get the patent, and we didn't do it.
Right,
we carried our coal log back home with us.
Okay.
But we had it wrapped in a newspaper and put in a bag.
Yeah.
I've got it over at the house over at War.
Okay.
And I ordered a shadow box off of it. I'm going to put the story about it.
Cool.
And it was over 50 years ago.
Yeah.
But we worked 16, 18 hours a day. And Dad said, well, I think we can go home now. I said, no, let's try one more thing. And we would put that thing together and pour that slack in there. We mix it with wax. We mixed it with some tar.
Right.
We mixed different formulas of it together.
Right.
And to try, and we would had a big mixer and we'd put down in there and mix it in a bucket and we'd bring it in there and we'd press it together. And it was a real hoot.
Well, I always thought all the time that Papa did
No,
that.
that was me and Dad.
I did not
Yeah,
know that. I always
yeah.
thought Papa built it. I remember one smoking over there in his fireplace
We
in the
tested
house.
them
Yes.
over there. We tested them over at his house.
Yeah.
We test them and put them in there. They burn hot.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They wasn't good to a grate.
Right.
A grate would burn pretty hot with. But if we'd have took them and done them out of wood,
Yeah.
imagine what that would have been.
Yeah. It's all that charcoal today.
Yeah, yeah. But it was,
That's
man,
that's
there was
cool,
stuff.
man.
It was. I think of this heritage growing up, and I think of things that we were passionate about.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think you can become passionate about. People can become passionate about making money, but I think it can be a little dangerous.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because things you're passionate about, you'll take time away from other things. I think we'd be passionate about family.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an important part at this point in our life.
Right.
That we're passionate about family.
Right.
And taking our time with those things and being able to do it. I don't know. I mean, I find that about being passionate about stuff. Well, all right. So what about challenges in your life? What are some challenges you face right now in your life? What are some challenges?
Challenges I face.
If you said, man, this is a challenge I've got going on.
Right. Probably, I think about it, and not just for myself, but for a lot of people facing. Seems like money doesn't go as far as it used to. How
Right,
about that?
right.
Yeah. And not because I'm making less or earning less. It's just not. Seems like, man, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's all that's all. So that's what I see as a challenge. Okay.
Yeah.
And one challenge. All right. And the other one is trying to keep my boys, okay, so imagine this, they don't have a grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a grandfather.
Right.
Okay. Have no close uncles.
Right.
Okay. They
Yeah.
got a couple uncles, but not around.
Right.
All right. And even Brittany's a lot older than they are. Zach's older, and they're gone.
Right.
So I have to be a father, a grandfather,
Yeah.
uncle, and a cousin to them. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Yeah.
That's a challenge raising my kids. But one thing I'm proud of in them is I don't have to say, get ready for church. We're going to church.
Right.
I never have to. They'll go to church if I'm gone out of
Right.
town and not
Right.
I don't have to say go to
Yeah,
church.
right.
Both of them have a love for the Lord at their young age. And
Yeah.
enjoy it. They enjoy it. It's not a chore for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we looked at it as a chore growing up.
Well, there's a lot of girls at church.
Yeah, that did help.
I mean, I sort of leaned in that direction at church. I mean, I love Jesus, but I sure had some pretty girls I was interested in. I mean, I'm just
Right,
the real.
yes.
When we think about challenges in our life, but I know money don't go as far, but also you and I both get paid more than we're worth.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I tell Colson all the time on his job. I said, "Now you're making way more money than you're worth."
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I think about the money. I think the challenge is to be able to live below our means, not within our means. Okay.
Yeah.
And because we all live so good
Yeah.
nowadays, we
Right.
live so
Oh,
far
yeah.
above. I mean, we're driving with that. I mean, if I'm looking at a car somewhere and it says air conditioning don't work, I don't even want it for $500.
Right.
Okay?
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, is that spoiled or not?
Oh,
So you
yeah.
think about things you look at and you're thinking, well, got more shoes than we can wear. I know I do. Janice all the time says, well, you need to get rid of some of these shoes. And I'm thinking, growing up, we got 2 pairs of shoes a year. We got school shoes, play shoes.
That's right.
And I think about, I think that, and we talk about this a lot, you and I do. I know we talk about it every day. It's freedom is success to me.
Right.
Freedom is sit down right here, not be under the gun somewhere. Freedom is not live in a country where you're about to be killed for things and
Right.
murdered for things.
Yeah.
Freedom is not being in a home where there's child abuse and things like that. There's the freedom too in our life too to be able to make choices and enjoy our family, to choose that you're going to go to watch your boy in the band play in the band at a ball game.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if you come up with that. If you're, I don't know how your dad was. I don't remember my dad ever coming to any kind of a ball game.
Oh yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
Now we went to horse shows and we done all
Yeah,
that,
right.
but he enjoyed that awful lot too.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
that wasn't just for you.
no,
That
it
wasn't
was
just for you.
you know.
Right.
So, but when
Yeah.
I look at stuff, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I think of things.
Oh, I tell TJ, I've told her all the time. I said, you know, I mean, when I coached Zach in every sport he did until he got to high school. Then
Right.
they had coaches that were already doing it
Right.
to take care of it. I said, but with these boys I have now that they're not boys, you know, they're 16 and 15.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So they're getting to be young men. You know, I said, it's important to be there.
Yeah.
It's important to be there.
Absolutely.
I said, you know, my parents weren't there,
Right.
and they really weren't able to. How about
Right.
that?
Yeah.
You know, and because there weren't a lot of parents when we participated in
Right.
things. You didn't see a
I
lot.
just don't remember it.
They weren't
You know,
there.
I don't-
Because they couldn't.
Right.
You know, I mean, John, at that time, minimum wage was $1.85,
Right.
$1.75.
Yeah.
You know, I know, you know
Yeah.
that sounds like nothing, but then things didn't cost a lot, but still,
Yeah.
it was a money thing, you know. But
You know,
anyway,
I don't remember going to the ball game with my dad. I do remember going to fix a fire every night.
right?
Okay, down to put coal in the stoker.
Yep.
Okay, and I remember stuff like that.
Yeah,
I remember going
yeah.
out putting coal in the stoker and getting ready.
Well,
for
he
those
wasn't.
things.
He wasn't interested in ball.
He was.
You know,
I think I seen
none
him
of-
bounce a basketball maybe twice,
Right.
just sort of bounce it a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, it
That's
was
different.
never
Right.
really. It wasn't no.
Right.
I mean, my dad even in his later days, he didn't really want to go anywhere and see anything or do anything. You
Right.
know, I mean, I took him on trips before, but I mean, it was funny to watch him. But he would go to the ocean, but he really
Right.
didn't care
Yeah.
about seeing it. It didn't
Yeah.
make him no difference.
Yeah.
You know, and but that was him.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, and it might be why I'm so the other way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
if I happen to scrape up a little money, I'm hitting the road,
Right.
going somewhere. And I know one time you asked me, "Why do you hate home so much?" or something like that. I
Maybe.
said, "Well, I don't know. I just like to go." I mean, you know, but maybe because they didn't.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
my
Maybe
mom
so.
has turned down going to the beach probably 15 times. Man, I've asked her. I said,
How
"Let's
about
just
that?
let me
Yeah.
take you to the beach. Let you see the ocean." No, I'm okay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and so
Yeah.
there's challenges. You know, challenges in our health
Yeah.
nowadays that we think stuff does get older.
Right.
Okay, and these bodies do.
Right.
We have to work with stuff and see what we can do with it.
I know. I got a shoulder right now, and I
Yeah.
keep thinking, this is not getting better.
Right.
It's supposed to be getting better. How come it's not getting? But anyway, I said, "Oh no,
Yeah.
it's getting old. That's what's
Yeah.
wrong with it."
You know, there is
age.
things we have to work with along and try to make our body work. And I don't like to exercise. I don't really enjoy it,
Right.
but I know I have to do it.
Yeah.
I know I have to keep moving and keep myself moving because that's a big thing. I'm scared I want to get to where I can't get around.
Right.
You know, because I like to go I was coming up the road the other night, Janice, and I drove like 14 hours, you know, and I said, I'm just fine, you know, I'm a little heavily medicated up to where I can see good, but I said, you know, I don't know how long we can continue because we're both getting older, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
You know, she'll be 69 and I'm 66, so I mean, here we are, and we're thinking we jump in the camper and take off 14 hours.
69.
January. Yeah, January she will be.
Is that right?
So, you know, here we
You're
are.
doing good.
Here
You're
we are.
killing it.
Here-
Yeah.
To be, you know,
I didn't think about that.
you know, and
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
so here we are, this age, and we're still going like we don't think nothing about it. I mean,
Right.
and I think you got to think about it and keep
Yeah.
your mindset.
Yeah.
And you know what I think too keeps you healthy and living. Let me know if somebody comes. Okay.
Cynthia's here.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you. I think not having hatred in your heart.
Oh yeah.
Causes
Well,
you
that's what
to-
I said at the beginning. of our family being humorous.
Yeah.
It's because of the joy,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's it.
The joy. If you have the joy, that'll help you
Yeah.
get over. We were talking about getting over.
Right.
Get
Yeah.
over the hatred.
Yeah.
You know, real quick, right?
I'm 100% with
You
that.
know, I mean, yeah. Still get angry, but that don't
Right.
mean it's hate.
But you got to stay on top of that.
You do. You have. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yes, that's
I
right.
think you can feel however you want to feel. The biggest mess is when you let it out your mouth.
Right.
If you can feel.
We-
You can feel like slapping somebody, but nobody ever goes to jail for that.
We had that conversation last night when my mom telling me that she called your dad one time and had her talk to someone, and both of them, mom and your dad, told them, said, just keep your mouth shut. Don't
Right.
say anything, and
Right.
you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But they couldn't help it. They had
Can't
to
help
tell
it.
it. They
Can't
had to
help
tell
it.
it. They
Yeah.
had to tell what they was telling, and it got them. They thought they was being honest. You know, you can't
Yeah.
do that all the time. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Do not be honest all
You
the
don't
time.
have to. You
Just
know?
because you know it don't mean you got to tell it.
That's right. That's right. You don't have to tell it.
Well, all right,
Don't
we're
get
going
you
to
in
talk
trouble.
again later on.
Okay.
Okay, because you're going to get back and think about things you wish you'd have shared. And I'm going to watch this and think about things I wish I'd asked you.
I don't know. You and I talk every day.
I know,
We talk, you know.
I know. We talk about marriage and life.
We all
We
settled
don't-
in, you know,
we-
30, 40 minutes. We can cover
And
it
then
all.
it's not gossip because we're family.
Exactly.
That's the way I
Yeah.
see it. It's not gossip.
And it don't really leave, you know, from
No,
where we talk about
no,
it. You
'cause
know,
we
nobody else knows.
I can't remember a lot of it. I just,
All right.
I repeat myself.
I listen to my sister, you know, she's just a year and a half younger than I am.
Yeah.
I listen to her tell me, she tells me things that we did and went through, and thinking, I wonder if I lived in that house too. She just tell me things that happened.
Kids will do that.
I don't remember that happening.
Listen,
Are you sure? You
Janice
know?
will ask me something. And say, you remember, don't you? and I say, no, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, you remember.
Right.
And she'll keep on me. I say, and finally I say, okay, now I
There
remember.
you go.
You're
Right.
just being sarcastic.
Right.
You're just being, I said, well, I don't know what you want me to do.
Trying to get along,
I do
yeah.
not remember. Okay, and you keep telling me I remember. Doesn't make me remember because I just don't remember. And by the way, where is my car? All right, we're going to do this again sometime.
Okay.
We're going to sit down because I had 10 questions and I've not really done it.
Oh,
But,
okay.
I had things I want to talk about.
I know
I'm
the
not going to
test.
talk about love. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to save that for another time. Because
I'm proving I'm a
Well,
lover.
yeah.
I love everyone. I proved
It's
it.
proven in your own mind.
I proved it.
You're in your own mind. You're king of the hill. All right?
I have.
Adios. It's over.